What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. This week's episode is going to be a little bit interesting because I'm going to be talking about how the meta should look as we enter 2022. Now as of right now, the meta is basically Swordsoul, Lyrilusc, Tribrigade, Invoked, Destroyer, Phoenix, Enforcer, which is basically Invoked and Heroes, Drytron, and Phantom Knight, Destroyer, and Phantom Knight, DPE, Destroyer, Phoenix, Enforcer. Those are the current. That's the current meta. And what's interesting is that Phantom Knights are more suited going first, which is absolutely insane. Drytron seems to be using Artifact Scythe, which literally locks, which is basically sort of like a Buster Lock, which is absolutely nuts. Swordsoul has been sort of balanced, but the funny thing is that there's really no wing condition. It's just like going all out with it. Lyrilusc's their number one wing condition is the new one that we got from Synchro Storm, which is just absolutely nuts. And then of course too, Drytron is Drytron, and Invoked Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer mainly has the board of Red Eyes, Dark Dragoon, Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, and Invoked Makaba. If you were to make that, you essentially just win easily. And then Phantom Knight PK, and then Phantom Knight Destroyer uses obviously Phoenix Enforcer, but also uses up several other cards as well. And there's a few cards in today's meta for Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer that actually is like utterly stupid. It is like, I don't even have the words for it. It's hard to describe it, but the name of it is, I believe, I'm actually gonna look it up on Neuron. Shoutouts to Konami for Neuron. No copyrights. You guys know how this works. Let's see. Let's take a look. If I remember right, let's see if I can find it. Is this the one? Yep, this is the one. Destiny Hero Dasher. It's an old card from, I think, Cyber Dark Impact, if I remember correctly. It was like right around there. So the effect of Dasher reads: once per turn, you contribute one other monster. This card gains 1,000 attack until the end phase. So it would basically go up to 3,100, which is just absolutely nuts. If this card attacks, change it to defense position at the end of the battle phase. So kind of like a Goblin Attack Force, basically, which is kind of weird. One time only, when you draw a monster card during your draw phase, while this card is in your grave, you can reveal it, special summon it. This card must be in the grave to activate and resolve this effect. So it's basically Acts of Despair, Goblin Attack Force, and it's also a Cyber Rev system when it's in the graveyard. And the funny part, Destroyer requires And the funny thing is that Destroyer, Phoenix, Enforcer requires a level 6 or higher hero monster and a Destiny hero. You can actually use Malicious, and you can also use Dasher as the material, as the level 6 or higher material, and then just any Destiny hero, which could be, I'll say, Disc Commander. Let's say that. That right there gives you Destroyer, Phoenix, Enforcer, and you're off to the races from there. Truth be told, I feel like as if these decks are... I feel like all five of these decks should... I believe they're more suited to be in like the tier 2, tier 3 decks, because Swordsoul is now, I believe, tier 1. It's like the best deck out there, as are Fam Knights. Because earlier this year we ended up getting the October 2021 ban list, and that was one of the worst. In my opinion, I believe that was one of the worst ban lists we have ever had. But it's only because of the fact that the pandemic just completely shut everything down in last year in 2020, and the next ban list that we're going to get will be potentially January 17th. So right around the time that we start entering the Royal Rumble, right around that time, which is going to be insane. But the ban list featured Zodiac Barrage getting banned, which is the only card that got banned, which is just nuts. Eva got limited to 1. Prank Hits Meow Meow Moo got limited to 1. Fire Formation Tenki got limited to 1, only because of the Tribrigade decks, obviously. Danger Nessie went up to 2. Skull Crab Joker went up to 2. And of course, Emergency Teleport went to 2. And then Double Iris Magician went up to 3. Which now, truth be told, the fucking Magician Pendulum decks are gonna be are not gonna be even more dangerous than we had ever thought possible, and the Psychic based decks with the addition of a second copy of Vitelli, it's gonna be even more broken than we had ever thought, because Emergency Teleport allows you to summon from your deck. Let's see if I'm right on that. Let's see. Yeah. So basically, you just supposed to summon a level 3 or lower psychic monster from your hand or deck, but banish it during the end phase. So, yeah. So funny thing is, you can actually bypass it. You actually get to bypass the banish effect by using the monster as either Exceed material or Synchro material, and just sending it directly to your graveyard, which is just absolutely nuts. So again, honestly, this meta is just like absolutely stupid, because Swordsoul, we got the Swordsoul archetype not too. I think it Burst of Destiny, and Swordsoul ended up becoming really good actually. So let's see. But the funny thing is that there's only a few cards in the whole archetype as of right now, which is basically the sort of like the Albaz archetype. So we have. So let's see if I can turn it this way. I cannot. Cannot turn it that way. So the cards that we have in the Swordsoul archetype, we have Incredible Ecclesia the Virtuous, which not only works with the Swordsoul. It also works with the Albaz archetype as well, which is just absolutely nuts. We have Swordsoul Assessment, which basically gives you, which basically gives you a token, and not only that, check out its effect. It reads, and again, I'm on Neuron. It says target a face-up monster you control, banish up to 5 Swordsoul cards and or worm monsters from your grave, and if you do, that monster gains 300 attack for each card banished this way. So it's basically kind of like a mage power. It's like mage power, but in a normal trap card form, and its other effect reads if this card is banished, you can special summon a Swordsoul token, which is a 4-star water worm tuner with 400 with 0 attack and defense. Again, tuner. You can use it as single material to go into your single place, which is just absolutely stupid. While that token is in the monster zone, the player who summoned it cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except synchros, and it's a once per turn effect. So not only do you have that, you also have Swordsoul Auspice Chunjun, which is basically like arguably one of the most powerful cards out there, because it says before damage count, if your worm monster battles an opposed monster that was supposed to summon from the extra deck, you can destroy both that monster and this card. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. During the main phase, as a quick effect, you contribute a monster, special summon this card from your hand. If the card is sent to the grave as synchro material, you can target a card on the field or in either graveyard and banish it. So again, not only is this a Cyber Dragon, but it's also you can also use it as a call by the grave, or as a Cosmic Cyclone or a Bottomless Trap Hole. You can literally target anything, which is just absolutely stupid. And then of course you have Swordsoul Blackout, which is another form of token summoning. You have as well Swordsoul Emerge, which is basically your Rhoda for the whole deck itself. You have Swordsoul Grandmaster Shishao, which is actually not the best. It's not the best, but it's still pretty decent. We have Swordsoul of Mo Yi, which is again another form of token summon. You have Swordsoul of Taya, which is another token summon. You have so many ways to just summon now tokens, which is absolutely nuts. Swordsoul Sacred Summon, which is basically your Monster Reborn. You have Swordsoul Strategist Longwan, which again is another form of token summon. Then you also have as well Swordsoul Supreme Sovereign Cheng Ying, which basically gives itself an additional 100 attack and defense for every banished card. So it's kind of like a Machine King of sorts, which is just stupid. And then the Iris Swordsoul, which has 3 different effects based on where the monster was special summoned from. If it was summoned from the hand, you get to special summon a monster from your hand. So it's like a Cyber Dragon from the deck. Draw 2, Pot of Greed. Extra deck, destroy one of the special summon monsters from the extra deck. Basically, so it's just too broken. This deck is too broken. But I feel like with the next ban list, if they were to hit potentially Iris Swordsoul, which again, this is not my ban list predictions. I'm not gonna be doing that for another week or so. I might do it on Christmas Day. I'm not so sure, but I will let you guys know on Twitter. So make sure you guys follow me on my second Twitter. The link will be in the description. But I feel like if Konami were to hit Iris Swordsoul would go the meta prowess, if you will, of Swordsoul will go down a little bit, but it would still be the top deck. Now, as far as Lyrilusc Tribrigade, there is no, even with Zodiac Barrage, people were still finding ways to make Tribrigade still broken, which is just stupid. So what they need to do is hit the big card that's in Tribrigade, which I believe is was it the Field Spell? I don't remember. One of the big cards that makes Tribrigade Lyrilusc just absolutely busted. So as far as like what decks I feel like should be the new meta, hands down Heroes. Hands down Heroes need to be the new meta, and I'm not talking like Heroes like from in another deck. I'm talking pure Heroes, kind of like maybe Destiny Heroes, because with the addition of Destroyer, Phoenix, and Enforcer, I feel like as if that deck could really be the new meta, which I actually did a Destiny Hero deck profile on not too long ago, actually. So make sure you guys check that one out. But I feel like that deck could be the new meta. Potentially zombies could be meta, which is possible, but it's hard to say. But I will say this. To close out this video, I will say this. These 5 decks, Swordsoul, Lyrilusc, Tribrigade, Invoked Phoenix, Drytron, and Phantom Knight Phoenix, I believe those decks need to be the ones to get hit in the meta, especially Drytron, because Drytron was abusing not only Eva but also Cyber Angel Benton, in which her effect is not a once per turn. It is not a once per turn, but the only reason why is because it's a GX card, so you can't. There's no two ways about it. But I feel like if the Drytron Ritual Monster, the main Ritual Monster that is used the most, if that were to get hit on the ban list next month, hands down, Drytron would the consistency, that was the word I was looking for. The consistency of Drytron would go down extensively and would go down to maybe a tier 2, kind of maybe a rogue deck. Kind of like how Dark Magician is a rogue deck, Blue Eyes is a rogue deck. But with the new support that we're getting for those two in Battle of Chaos, I think sometime in like May, I believe we're gonna be getting it in May. I don't know exactly when we're gonna get that box in the TCG, but I will be getting. There's a lot of sets that we're gonna be getting. Some I will open up on the channel. I know that Maximum Gold Eldorado I'll be getting. There's also gonna be Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1. There's a few cards from that set that I'm looking forward to getting. Legendary Duelist of the Abyss. That's another one that I'm going to be getting my hands on. There's a few. There's quite a few. And even the tins for next year's tins. I'm going to be getting those as well. There's a lot of them, guys. But overall, yeah, I think honestly the number one deck I feel like should be the new meta could potentially be Blue Eyes, because with the new support that we're getting for them, it is going to be one hell of a year in 2020. 2022 is going to be one hell of a year, but now that we're going to be getting in-person YCS events with Pasadena coming up in I think in February, and with Vegas coming up in March, Konami is going to have quite the field day when it comes to the ban list. So again, those are just my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Here's the question of the day. What deck do you guys think should be the new meta in 2022 that are not these 5 decks? Let me know in the comments below. And that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, which get posted every Friday, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be in the description below. And if you guys have any fan mail that you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.